Good morning, boys. Today we are going to learn how to extend the Cartesian plane. Remember that René Descartes came up with two lines meeting at right angles. The horizontal line he labeled the x-axis, and the vertical line he labeled the y-axis. But by time, the x-axis was extended to the left and the y-axis was extended downwards. Now, which numbers were become included when we extend the x-axis to the left? Now, I want you to think back to when we did the number line in the directed numbers topic. Remember that when we extended the number line to the left of the zero, okay, we now started including negative numbers, okay, because we always explained that when we move to the left of the number line, the numbers become smaller. So after 0, then there was to the left of the 0, one place to the left of the 0, there is the negative 1. Another place to the left of the negative 1, there is the negative 2, then there is the negative 3, then there is the negative 4, the negative 5, and so on. So, and we said that if you move to the left, the numbers become smaller. And the more you move to the left, the numbers get smaller and smaller. Now, let's fill in this diagram. So we have the positive x-axis, the positive y-axis. Now let's extend the x-axis. So we said that numbers become smaller. So the next unit to the left of the 0, it is a negative 1. Another place, one unit to the left of the negative 1, there is the negative 2. Another place, the next place to the left of the negative 2, there is the negative 3. Another place to the left of the negative 3, it's the negative 4. Then there is the negative 5. Then there is the negative 6. Okay? Now, when we remember that just like the thermometer, when we were doing directed numbers, when we move below 0, then there is the negative 1, okay? Then there is below the negative 1, there is the negative 2, then there is the negative 3, okay? And the more we move down on the y-axis, the number becomes smaller. So on the y-axis we have 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Then the next number below 0, if we want to fill in the next diagram, is now negative 1. Then the number below negative 1 is negative 2. Below, it's negative 3. Below negative 3, it's negative 4. Below negative 4, negative 4. So, below the negative 4, there is negative 5. And below negative 5, there is negative 6. Okay? Now let's fill in all the Cartesian plane with both the positive numbers and the negative numbers. Let's start. So we have 0 as the origin, where the vertical line and the horizontal line meet. That's the origin, O, point O. Now, the first one to the left, to the right of the 0 is 1, then there is 2, then there is 3, then there is 4, then there is 5. To the left of the 0, then we have the negative numbers, and the first one is negative 1, then negative 2, then negative 3, then negative 4, then negative 5, and we can stop there so that we have 5 and negative 5. Then let's start the y-axis. 1 place above 0, there's the 1, then there's the 2, then there's the 3, then there's the 4. Now, below the 0, 1 place below 0, then there is the negative 1, then 1 place below negative 1, negative 2, then negative 3, then negative 4, then negative 5, then negative 6. Okay? So now that we have filled in the extended, sort of to say, Cartesian plane, okay, we realize that we do not only have one quadrant, 1 quarter, coming from the word quadrant, quad, right, coming from quarter. We don't have 1 quarter of the whole, sort of to say, revolution, but we have all of it now. We have 4 sections. Okay, 1 section is a quadrant. 1 section, the positive x and the positive y make 1 quadrant, 1 section of the whole Cartesian plane. Okay, and we can call it, I'm going to label it, we can call it the first, I think it's yellow. We can call it the first, it does not. First, okay, it's the first quadrant. Okay, it's the first quadrant. Quadrant. It's the first quadrant. Okay, the one next to it, where we have the one on the left, where we have the positive y and the negative x, it's called the second quadrant. Okay, the one below it, where we have the negative x and the negative y, it's called the third quadrant. And last of all, we have the fourth quadrant. So now we have 4 quadrants. Okay, now we have a question which we are going to work out together. In this question, we need to fill in the missing numbers on each of the x and y axes. And then we need to write down the coordinates of each fly. We have flies labeled from A till J, okay? So after we label the x-axis and the y-axis with all the missing numbers, we need to read the coordinates of each fly. So let's start labeling. Okay. So let's start with the x-axis. Okay. So the first we start from the 0, the origin. The first number to the right is the 1. The second number is the 2. The third is the 3. Fourth, fifth, we can stop there. Now the positive y-axis, the first number above 0 is 1. Then we have 2, then we have 3, and then we have 4. And we can stop there. The first number to the left now of 0, there is the -1. Then we have the next one to the left is -2, -3, -4, and -5. Then 1 below 0 is the -1. Another below 0 is the -2. Then -3, then -4, then -5. Okay. So we have labeled the x-axis and the y-axis. Okay. I will label also the axis with x and y so that it would be easier to know which number to read. So that is the x-axis and that is the y-axis, okay? It's important to know which number to read first. Remember that we need to crawl before we climb. The x before the y, just like in the alphabet, okay? Now, fly, we've got to write the coordinates of the fly which is labeled A. Mela, A is in position. We need to move 4 to the right and climb up, okay? Climb up 2. So both are positive. So the first the fly labeled A, okay? It's going to be 4,2. 4,2. Now, the one labeled B is we have to move 2 horizontally and 4 upwards. So both are positive, so it's 2,4. 2,4. That's B. Let's look at C now. So C now C. To move to C, we need to move 2 to the left. That is -2. Okay, -2 because we move 2 to the left. And we need to move up 3 units. So the x coordinate is -2 because we moved to the left. But the y coordinate is positive since we moved upwards. Okay, let's write it down now. So -2,3. Now, letter D is to arrive at the fly labeled D, we need to move 5 units to the left on the x-axis, so it's -5, and move upwards 4. Since we moved upwards 4, it's a +4, so the coordinates of fly D are -5,4. -5,4. point E now. Point E. Now, for point E, we just move one to the left of the 0, so it's -1. We don't move up and we don't move down. Since we remained on the x-axis and we didn't move vertically, then the y-coordinate is 0 because we didn't move vertically, okay? So it's -1, 0. Okay, so letter F. Now, pay attention for this. Mela, to arrive at the fly labeled F, which is in the third quadrant, we need to move 3 units to the left of the 0 on the x-axis. So the x-coordinate is -3. And then we move down to another 3 units. Since we move down another 3 units, the x-coordinate, the y-coordinate needs to be -3 as well. So we move -3 on the x. We moved left on the x-axis, and we moved down 3 units. So the y-coordinate is -3. So the coordinates of fly F is -3, -3. Okay. The fly labeled G now. It's also in the same quadrant as the fly labeled F. So to arrive at G, we need to move 5 units to the left on the x-axis. So it's -5. And we move down 3, we move down 4, because the fly is at, you have to look at the fly, not at the letter, okay? And we move down 4 units this time, 4 units. So it's -5, and the y-coordinate is -4. -5, -4. -5, -4. The fly labeled H. To arrive at the fly labeled H, the fly labeled H, pay attention, it is on the y-axis, okay? Exactly on the y-axis. Now, to arrive at the fly labeled H, we don't move horizontally, neither to the right nor to the left, okay? We just go down 4 units. So the x-coordinate is 0, whereas the y-coordinate is -4. So the coordinates of the fly labeled H is 0, -4. Okay, let's look at I now. I is on the other side. So we move to arrive at I on the x-axis or horizontally, we have to move 2 units, so +2. But we need to go down 5 units. Since we need to go down 5 units, the y-coordinate is -5. So the coordinates of fly labeled I is 2, -5. 2, -5. The fly labeled J now, the last one, the fly labeled J. To arrive at the fly labeled J, we must move 5 units to the right on the x-axis, so that is +5. And then we move down 2 units, so that is -2 on the y-axis. So the coordinates of the fly labeled J is 5 comma negative 2. So let's write it down. 5 comma negative 2. Okay. Now, that is our example. Now what you need to do, boys, is work out the homework uploaded on Clicks, okay, and then upload it again on Clicks. Okay, you can either work out on a separate piece of paper or on the handout itself, as you prefer. That's all for today, boys. Bye and take care.